Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we'll be going over my Week 4 college football predictions. So, last week, I had a record of 17-3, bringing my overall record on the season to 45-12. So, to jump right into the predictions, UNLV is playing Fresno State tonight. Fresno State is coming off an upset win over UCLA. Fresno State quarterback Jack Hayner is a little bit banged up. He suffered a hip injury against UCLA. I think Fresno State shouldn't push him, especially since they're playing UNLV, and they're not good. So, I have Fresno State winning 52-13 with whoever they want at quarterback. They could put Hayner, they could put the backup, they could put the third stringer. They could still beat them 52-13. And another reason I would sit Hayner is because UNLV has not won a game since August 31st, 2019. So that's 2 years ago, over 2 years ago, and that's 9 games ago. Number 6, Penn State against Villanova. Penn State is coming off a win over Auburn. And Villanova is an FCS team, which is a subdivision of, it's still Division 1, but it's a subdivision series. I think Penn State dominates this game 56-13. Number 2, Georgia against Vanderbilt. Georgia beat UAB 56-7, and I expect this game to be very similar, with Georgia winning 55-10. Number 12, Notre Dame against number 18, Wisconsin. This game is where College Game Day is. This is actually being played at a neutral location, so it's being played in Chicago, Soldier Field. So, Wisconsin was upset by Penn State in Week 1. They've only played another game because they had a bye week last week. Notre Dame has played all 3 of its games, which they won, but they should have had a little bit more comfortable of a lead and won by a little bit more of a comfortable amount. For example, Toledo should not have been a 2-point game. Florida State should not have gone to overtime. And Purdue, yes, they did beat them by 14, but they should have beat them. It should have been more convincing heading into the fourth quarter. So I think this is going to be the game of the week, and I have Notre Dame squeaking out with the 24-20 win. UMass against Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina improves to 4-0 while dominating 59-14, with UMass falling to 0-4. Texas A&M against Arkansas, another one of the actual competitive games this week. This week there's a lot of games that are going to be blowouts. Texas A&M and Arkansas are both undefeated. Texas A&M is playing without starting quarterback Haynes King. Arkansas is undefeated. They beat Rice, Georgia Southern, and upset Texas. While Rice and Georgia Southern aren't really that impressive wins, the upset over Texas really stands out to me. So I have Texas A&M with a 27-20 win over Arkansas. Number 5, Iowa against Colorado State. Iowa's having a good year so far. They're 3-0. With wins over, at the time, number 17 Indiana, who've now fallen unranked, and wins over currently ranked number 14 Iowa State. So, those are 2 pretty good teams Iowa's beaten, and I have Colorado State losing to Iowa 45-13. Number 9, Clemson against NC State. Clemson has not convinced me at all this season that they're good. They lost to Georgia, and they almost were upset by Georgia Tech. So, this is a key game for me to see how good they're going to be. Because NC State is a above-average team, but not a good team. Like, they're good, but they're not great. So, this is the game for Clemson that's really shows me what they're made of this season. And I have Clemson with a 27-20 win. So, not very convincing, but it's still a win. but Clemson still comes out on top. Number 14, Iowa State against Baylor. Iowa State is 2-1 with a loss to Iowa, and I have Iowa State with the 31-21 win. Number 19, Michigan against Rutgers. Michigan's looked good this season, although they haven't played. Washington is the best team they've played, and they're not that great this year. And they played Western Michigan and Northern Illinois and beat them both. Northern Illinois was actually a blowout, 63-10. Whereas Rutgers is 3-0, and they beat Delaware, Syracuse, and Temple. None of those teams are good. So I'm going Michigan 38-17 win. Auburn against Georgia State. Auburn is number 23 after losing to Penn State. Auburn has the second highest scoring offense in the country, and Georgia State's defense allows the 11th most points per game in the country. So this game is going to be a blowout. Auburn 48-17 with the easy win. UCLA against Stanford. UCLA fell to 24. They fell from 13 after their upset loss against Fresno State. I think UCLA bounces back with the 31-24 victory over Stanford. Number 11, Florida against Tennessee. I think Florida's going to be starting Emory Jones in this game. That's what it looks like based off all the depth charts they've released. I think Florida has the easy win over Tennessee, 45-24. And one thing that surprised me about Florida is I expected them to have a close game against Alabama, but I didn't expect them to come within a 2-point conversion of tying the game against Alabama. I expected maybe more of like a 5 to 7 point game. But Florida played a very good game against Alabama, and I think they're going to continue playing good football against Tennessee. Michigan State against Nebraska. Michigan State is coming off a 38-17 blowout win over Miami, which was actually an upset. Miami was ranked. Nebraska lost a close game to Oklahoma last week. I think Michigan State improves to a 4-0 record with the 27-23 victory. Number 25, Kansas State against Oklahoma State. Both teams are undefeated. I can see this game going either way. I have actually Oklahoma State with the upset, 27-17 over Kansas State. Southern Mississippi against number 1, Alabama. Alabama already beat Florida this year in a very close game. That was actually last week. And I think Alabama rolls with a 66-13 win over Southern Mississippi. West Virginia against number 4, Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma is going to get upset one time this season. West Virginia is a good pick to do it, but I don't think it's going to be West Virginia because they're coming off an upset win over Virginia Tech. And while you can upset two teams in a row, I still think it's going to be Iowa State upsetting Oklahoma in their regular season matchup. But I could argue it for West Virginia. They're going to get the upset over Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma survives a close game, 34-27. Number 10, Ohio State against Akron. Ohio State starting quarterback C.J. Stroud will serve as the emergency backup quarterback because he's nursing a shoulder injury, and they don't need to even have Stroud play because I have them winning 73-10 with backup quarterbacks, and I think this game is going to be over after the first half. Ohio State with a very easy win. Number 21, North Carolina against Georgia Tech. North Carolina bounced back after being upset in Week 1 against Virginia Tech, and they've improved their record to 2-1. Georgia Tech almost upset Clemson last week. However, I don't expect them to really played that great against North Carolina. North Carolina with the 31-14 win over Georgia Tech. USF against BYU. BYU hasn't lost a game. They're 3-0, and in the process of becoming 3-0, they upset Arizona State and Utah. I think BYU keeps rolling with the 34-14 win over South Florida. Number 3, Oregon against Arizona. Oregon should have the very easy win because Arizona is 0-3 and they're supposed to be one of the worst teams. I predicted them to be the worst team in the Pac-12 this year. So Oregon should roll very easily in this game. I have them with the 52-10 win over Arizona. Another game I feel should be over by halftime. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment if you have any questions or if you disagree, tell me why. And I will see you Sunday for my updated ranking predictions as well as updated college football playoff predictions after results of Week 4's games. So like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you Sunday for updated playoff predictions and rankings.